Daily Pink Slip. From overturned semis to multiple car fires, we're counting down the 10 worst traffic crashes and pileups of all time. Quick disclaimer, most of these accidents are from the past few years, which allowed us to use more actual photos instead of stock images. Number 10. January 9th, 2015. A heavy snowstorm dumped more than a foot of snow on I94 in Galesburg, Michigan. Though it's uncertain which vehicle was the first to crash, a massive pileup soon followed. There were 76 semi-trucks involved as well as 117 other vehicles, bringing the accident total to 193. The craziest thing that happened was a semi-truck containing 40,000 pounds of commercial fireworks caught fire, which resulted in an impromptu frosty 4th of July extravaganza. The overall result of this disaster was 23 people injured and 1 death. Number 9. February 11th, 2015. In South Korea, a mass car crash took place on the Yeongjong Grand Bridge. This is basically the giant bridge that connects the international airport to the mainland. The culprit this time? Fog, and a ton of it. By eyewitness report, visibility was reduced to as little as 50 feet. The pileup started when a limo driver hit the back of a car. With very little time to react due to the fog and nowhere else to go, cars just kept plowing into one another. The crash total this time was 106. There were 65 injuries reported and 2 deaths. Brutal. Number 8. November 16, 2010. The area of Fancy Gap, Virginia finally made it on the map, but not due to that incredible name. Once again, a shitload of fog rolled in, causing the visibility to drop from, hey, I can see, to, this is complete crap. 3 pileups occurred on Interstate 77 with a total of 75 vehicles involved. Some of these cars were crunched up pretty good and rescue workers rushed in to take care of business. That day, Fancy Gap experienced perhaps its only example of gridlock traffic ever. When the dust and fog finally settled, 16 people were injured and 2 were killed. Number 7. February 14th, 2014. On the Pennsylvania Turnpike, an iced-over highway caused a smash-up of over 100 vehicles. With overturned cars, high-impact crashes, and messed-up tractor-trailers, one thing is obvious. This was the worst Valentine's Day for those involved. Imagine the missed dinner reservations. Thankfully, it wasn't a massacre of any sort. 30 injuries were reported, none of them serious, and no deaths. They had to shut down the turnpike for a full day before they could get it completely cleared off. CBS 3 traffic reporter Bob Kelly called this the worst accident I have ever seen in the 20 years since I've been doing this. Number 6. February 14th, 2010. Wait a minute, Valentine's Day again? Yep. A rather ordinary romantic day in Kansas City, Missouri was ruined by Old Man Winter, or Jack Frost, or whatever. Anyway, so lots of snow came down and there were dozens of pileups along I-35 and I-75. Zero visibility doesn't help when everyone is trying to get to the melting pot all at the same time. More than 140 vehicles were slammed into, and eyewitnesses report they could actually hear their insurance premiums going up. While 13 people were injured, thankfully there were no deaths. But boy, this one was a real mess. Number 5. March 12, 2014. On the Ohio Turnpike near Sandusky, drivers faced clear roads. That is, until heavy winds caused extreme whiteout conditions. The Ohio State Highway Patrol stated that visibility was down to 1/10 of a mile, sometimes worse. You know how some people refuse to slow down even when the weather sucks? Well, some folks were driving 50 or 60 miles an hour in this mess. It wasn't long until an insane pileup happened on both the west and eastbound sides of the turnpike. Over 90 vehicles were damaged, dozens injured, and 3 people lost their lives. These accidents also stranded more than 1,800 cars, some of which were stuck on the turnpike for up to 12 hours. At least they don't charge tolls by the hour. Number 4. December 3rd, 2013. Near Brussels, Belgium, on the A19 Highway, 132 vehicles were involved in 3 separate pileups. It was, as some victims recall, a giant wall of fog out of nowhere that caused the accidents. The fog was so intense that life flight helicopters couldn't be dispatched. Destroyed semi-trucks littered the roadways with all sorts of spilled cargo. Some victims were trapped in their cars for hours at freezing temperatures and were given blankets until crews could clear the wreckage. More than 70 folks were injured and 2 lost their lives. Things were so bad that they actually had to set up a first aid tent right on the highway. Number 3. March 1st, 2014. In Denver, Colorado, they're no stranger to getting plenty of snow. As we've learned, however, it just takes one person not paying attention for a disaster to strike. After a heavy snowfall, drivers on I-25 were just going way too fast for conditions. One driver caught in the crossfire of flying sheet metal and glass thought the whole thing could have been prevented. He was driving well under the speed limit when he spotted brake lights coming on, but nobody slowing down. An SUV slammed into the back of his car, which thrust him towards an empty car carrier in front of him. What followed was a devastating chain reaction that involved 104 vehicles, sent 30 people to the hospital, and claimed one life. The moral here is slow and steady wins the race, and maybe saves a life as well. Number 2. September 5th, 2013. In Kent, England, on A259, there was another grave reminder of how dangerous thick fog can be. While motorists drove down this multi-lane bridge, a thick pea soup fog rolled in, limiting visibility down to 65 feet. Again, it's the start of a dangerous chain reaction. Once the first crash happens, then there isn't enough time for those following behind to recognize the accident and slow down. What resulted was a pileup of over 130 vehicles. As seen in these photos, a lot of the accidents happened at high speeds. Looking at the crumpled remains of these cars, it's obvious that it was nothing short of a miracle that nobody was killed. Roughly 200 people received medical care for their injuries. Number 1. March 11, 2008. The worst multi-vehicle accident in the history of United Arab Emirates. On the highway between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, heavy fog conditions created an unsafe passage for motorists. When you can't see what's in front of you, you can't hit the brakes in time. A horrific 60-car pileup led to more than 270 injured and 3 deaths. A standout of this particular accident was that 25 cars caught fire, causing rescue workers to scramble and try and put all these fires out. If it wasn't for the fast-acting emergency services, there certainly would have been more fatalities. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Do us a favor and subscribe to Daily Pink Slip. Click like, share with your friends, hit us up on Facebook and Twitter, and leave comments. New Daily Pink Slip videos just for you guys every single week. Subscribe so you don't miss a video.